do I still want to do this shit?
Mm-hmm,
You know what I'm saying?
You know how hard it is.
Some people say, I want to go play baseball.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I want to come back. Or some people say, I'm going to go 22 straight. And, you know what I'm saying? So it's a contract I feel like you got to have with yourself, too, in order for you to be a, you know, great ball player or to have a long career. That's the goal, to be in the league for 20 years. I tell you, that's the goal.
But that wasn't the goal.
I want to go on the court with the NBA. Where's Kevin Durant and his legacy? Is he being tarnished? Where are you at with him? You mentioned your top 7 guys. Where are you at with what's happened recently with Durant, with the Suns, and, of course, with Brooklyn?
Yeah, you know, Kevin's a great player. I think that his legacy is complicated. You know, I don't like any guys who join super teams. I'm biased against LeBron when it comes to comparing him to Michael, joining Dwayne and those guys. Because, you know, when we have this debate, and LeBron's amazing and spectacular, but I was like, Michael didn't join anybody. He just kept getting his ass kicked and got bigger and got stronger and finally knocked the wall down. And, you know, Kevin, who's a great player, you know, other than the fact when he joined the Warriors, he hasn't been successful anywhere else. And I don't hold that against him, but he wants to be considered in that list. He's not on that list. He's not on that list. He's a great, great player, but he's not on that list. He wants to be like, wow, he's not in the GOAT conversation, because you're not, plain and simple. You had great success when you joined the Warriors, but not only did you not have success, you actually flamed out in those other places. You got swept last year in the playoffs. You didn't even make the play-in this year.
It all kicked off with what seemed like a harmless laugh, but that laugh blew up the whole internet. Kevin Durant cracked a joke about Michael Jordan walking away from basketball to play baseball, and LeBron James couldn't hold it in. He was right there laughing beside him. What looked like a fun little moment suddenly turned into full-blown NBA chaos. That laugh didn't just echo through social media, it hit a nerve deep in basketball royalty. Legends weren't amused, they were furious, and the first to fire back was none other than Charles Barkley. He'd clearly had enough of what he called soft talk and no respect from today's stars, and he didn't hold back for a second. On live TV, Barkley dropped truth bombs with zero hesitation. No filter, no fear, just pure fire. He tore into what he saw as entitlement and ego taking over a league that used to be built on grit, sweat, and real heart. The entire studio froze. The host looked stunned, and within minutes, social media exploded. Fans, analysts, and old-school players started flooding timelines with clips from the 80s and 90s, back when basketball had bite. For once, someone had the guts to challenge the untouchable LeBron KD media wave that's been running unchecked for years. But here's the wild part. Barkley wasn't alone. What followed wasn't just a moment, it was a movement. The old guard had drawn a line in the sand, sending one clear message to today's stars. Respect the history, or get ready for a real wake-up call. To really get why this moment blew up the way it did, you gotta look deeper at that long simmering tension between LeBron, KD, and the legends of Jordan's era. Because this isn't just about comparisons anymore, it's a full-on cultural clash. It all went down on their podcast, Mind the Game, and what started as harmless conversation turned into a straight-up disrespectful jab. Durant threw out a slick comment about players who quit basketball to play baseball, clearly mocking Michael Jordan's decision to step away from the game back in the day. The delivery was cold, man, like ice. No hesitation, no care, just raw shade. And LeBron? He was right there laughing like it was comedy night. No empathy, no reflection, no chill whatsoever. That moment wasn't just awkward. It exposed something deeper about today's top players and how they see the ones who came before them. That laugh hit different because it wasn't just random, it felt intentional. It showed how some of today's stars keep trying to rewrite history, taking subtle shots at the very legends who paved the way for them.
Years ago, I was in the league. I thought you were about to say some shit about the 90s.
Only one of us was in the
I'm
league.
down with the 90s.
That team, that 90s bled into the early 2000s.
And let's be honest, LeBron's been pushing that quiet agenda for years. Remember when he said, "We done with the 90s"? At the time, people brushed it off like nothing, but the real fans caught it right away. That wasn't just a throwaway line. It was a message wrapped in confidence and ego. He's been slowly reshaping the narrative, making sure that when the GOAT talk comes up, the conversation leans in his direction. This wasn't just a laugh. It was a statement that sent shockwaves through basketball culture. Instead of building their own legacy from the ground up, it feels like LeBron and KD been trying to tear history down one slick jab at a time. They keep calling the old school era primitive, like those legends didn't grind through real pain, real fights, and real competition. But here's the truth. Jordan never begged for a super team, never cried for help, and never ran from a challenge. MJ faced every battle head-on and walked out a 6-time champion. The stats, the rings, the legacy, it's all there. No debate. Yet when you listen to how LeBron and KD talk, you'd think Michael Jordan was just another name in the record books. He stayed, he fought, and he won. That's what makes what happened next so explosive, because finally someone had the guts to fire back. Charles Barkley stepped in, and when Barkley speaks, the room shakes. The man's never known the meaning of bite your tongue, but this time he came out swinging hard. In a blazing new interview, he didn't just call out LeBron and KD for their slick talk, he went after what they stand for. Barkley said today's players skip the grind, chase the shortcuts, and want greatness without the growing pains. No patience, no loyalty, he said. Just ring chasing and headlines. Then he looked dead into the camera and dropped the coldest line of the night. You want to be in the GOAT talk? You can't be if you keep building super teams. Boom! That punchline hit like a freight train. You could feel the air in the studio shift. The tension was real. But here's the truth. Barkley wasn't out here taking cheap shots for clout. He wasn't chasing drama. He was demanding respect. He said exactly what most retired legends whisper behind closed doors but never say out loud. Real respect in this league isn't handed out through tweets or hype reels. It's earned on the hardwood, through sweat, sacrifice, and loyalty when everything starts falling apart. And Barkley wasn't done throwing truth around either. He turned his full attention to KD and dropped the question nobody in mainstream media ever dares to ask. What has Kevin Durant really done outside of Golden State? The studio went quiet. Because when you look at it, he got swept in Brooklyn, missed the playoffs with the Suns, and still hasn't lifted a ring without Steph Curry by his side. Without that Warriors safety net, there's been no domination, no dynasty, just disappointment. You could feel the silence through the screen, man. Barkley wasn't just talking trash, he was forcing some of the game's biggest stars to face the mirror and confront reality. No one's denying KD's one of the deadliest scorers to ever step on the court. But leading like Jordan, that's a whole different league, and he hasn't crossed that line yet. So here's the real million-dollar question. Why are today's stars so insecure? What's really eating at them? How can two of the most decorated players of this generation, LeBron and KD, still feel the need to throw shade at a man who retired decades ago? The truth hits hard. LeBron's been living under Jordan's shadow since the moment he picked up a ball. And deep down, he knows that shadow still follows him today. No matter how many MVPs, records, or finals runs LeBron racks up, those 6 flawless rings from Jordan's career still stare him down like a reflection he can't outrun. Every single season that passes without that 6th ring makes the noise even louder, the comparisons even sharper, and you can feel the frustration start to leak out through little shots and slick comments aimed straight at the era he just can't surpass. It's pride mixed with pressure, and it shows every single time he talks about changing the game. And then there's KD. His struggle hits different. For all his undeniable skill, he's been chasing something far deeper than trophies: validation. His biggest wins came on a team he didn't build, surrounded by stars who already had their spotlight. Deep down, he knows the fans don't mention him in the same breath as Jordan, Kobe, or even Steph. And that truth stings more than any loss ever could. That's why he keeps firing off those subtle jabs, trying to rewrite the story instead of creating a new one. But here's where it gets real. Charles Barkley saw this pattern coming from miles away, and he sent out a warning shot louder than any headline. Respect can't be faked, bought, or rewritten. It has to be earned the hard way. And now that backlash Barkley talked about? It's brewing fast. The irony is almost cruel. LeBron and KD keep trying to chip away at the old legends, but what they don't realize is they're setting themselves up for the exact same cycle. Someday, a new wave of stars will mock them the same way they mock the 90s. And when that day comes, they'll finally understand what real legacy feels like under pressure. The next generation of players will flip the script on them, guaranteed. One day, LeBron and KD will hang up their jerseys and suddenly find themselves on the other side of the disrespect they helped create. The same wave of loud online fans who never even saw them play live will be out here typing, "LeBron was overrated," or "KD only won because of Curry." The same cycle they started will come crashing back around. Once that wheel starts turning, there's no stopping it. You can't control the internet once the culture decides it's time to move on. That's exactly why Barkley's words hit so hard, because he wasn't just defending Jordan, he was defending basketball itself. He was standing up for the grind, the sweat, the loyalty, and the legacy that built the game before all the filters, clickbait, and social media drama took over. His message came through loud and raw. You don't get to rewrite NBA history just because it doesn't fit your version of success. You don't get to clown the 90s when that same era laid the foundation for every dollar, every endorsement, every chant from the stands you've ever had. And the truth? Barkley was spot on. Whether LeBron and KD ever admit it or not, the very era they keep mocking will soon become their reflection in the mirror. The disrespect they're handing out now will circle right back, because the basketball world always comes full circle. And when that day hits, no slick podcast, no viral clip, and no GOAT talk spin will protect them from the legacy they helped twist. Every move they make, every post they drop, every slick quote they say, it's all being watched. This new generation of fans and players is paying attention like never before, studying LeBron and KD's every word, every highlight, every controversy. And when their own time comes to drop documentaries, start podcasts, and chase clicks with their own hot takes, guess what? LeBron will just be another archived name in NBA history, and KD will just be remembered as a scorer they never actually saw in action. That's the cold reality. They're building the same wave of disrespect that's headed straight for them. And that's exactly what Barkley tried to warn them about. You tear down Jordan today, and you better be ready when someone else does the same to you tomorrow. It's the unspoken law of the game. Disrespect always circles back. But here's the real twist. The backlash Barkley predicted isn't coming anymore. It's already here. Whether LeBron wants to admit it or not, that polished image he spent decades crafting is starting to crack. The myth is slipping, and people are beginning to question what's real and what's just for show. Let's be honest. LeBron's moves lately don't even feel like basketball anymore. Between launching his own podcast and dropping sly quotes about being the GOAT, it feels more like he's trying to control the conversation than play the game. It's as if he's building a wall of media around himself, not to protect his legacy, but to protect the legend he wants people to believe. LeBron isn't playing for rings anymore. He's playing for relevance. Those "I never had help" lines, those conveniently timed interviews and dramatic tweets, they're not passion, they're PR. After 20 years in the spotlight, the cracks are starting to show and fans can feel it. Barkley sees it, the media sees it, and even LeBron's biggest supporters are starting to whisper about it. The truth is, the harder LeBron tries to control his own story, the faster that story starts slipping through his hands. And that's the kind of downfall no stat line can cover up. Especially moments like this, when he laughs at Jordan's struggles like it's just another punchline. That's when the cracks in his legacy start showing for real. Every smirk, every careless jab, it all chips away at the foundation he spent decades building. You can't mock a legend and expect the basketball world to let it slide. That's not confidence, it's arrogance, and it's finally catching up to him. LeBron's always been a genius when it comes to manipulating the media, shaping headlines, and crafting perfect narratives. But this time, the mask is slipping, and no PR polish can hide it. Because when truth, emotion, and legacy collide, the spotlight becomes a mirror, and that reflection doesn't lie. The fake laughs fade fast once fans start realizing not every smile is real and not every joke is harmless. And right now, that's exactly what's happening. People are waking up, and Barkley's words are hitting harder than ever. Barkley might have been the first to call it out loud, but he definitely won't be the last. He said what many legends have been thinking for years. LeBron and KD crossed a line. In one podcast episode, they tried to rewrite basketball history, turning one of the most emotional chapters in the sport, Jordan stepping away from the game after losing his father, into a casual punchline. They thought nobody would challenge them, but Barkley did. And the basketball world's been buzzing ever since. Loud, raw, and completely unfiltered. That's how Barkley came for them. And now the backlash is very real. Because when you disrespect the 90s, you're not just mocking a decade, you're exposing yourself to the whole basketball world. The GOAT debate was never just about numbers, rings, or awards. It's always been about respect. Respect for the grind, the struggle, and the legacy that built the entire culture of this game. And let's be honest, when it comes to that category, Michael Jordan still owns the court by a mile. His name doesn't just sit in the record books, it defines what greatness means. So if you still believe in the real history of basketball, the grit, the hustle, and the legends who made it what it is, then you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button right now because we drop nothing but pure truth every single week. No fluff, no filters, just straight fire and facts that hit deep. We cut through the headlines, break the spin, and expose what's really going down behind the NBA's biggest controversies. Now it's your turn. Jump into the comments and tell us what you think. Did LeBron and KD cross the line by mocking MJ's legacy? Or are fans just blowing things up like they always do? Be real, because this one's got the whole basketball world talking. Drop your take below, smash that like button, share this video, and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next drop. We've got even more wild stories coming your way, and trust me, the next one's about to shake up the game even harder.